And I was like, Stormi, for real? Stormi, for real. You was hurt by what Tiffany said about Keke in the interview. Was you really, Stormi? For real, girl. Tell the truth, girl. No, Stormi, please stop capping for Keke. Why are we capping this hard for Keke? I'm not understanding. If I'm missing something, let me know in the comments what I'm missing. Because why is Stormi capping this hard for Keke? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, we are talking on Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 6, episode 24, titled Rodger That. How many more episodes until we get to this reunion? Because how are we on 24 episodes of a reality show? I don't know. It's giving very much telenovela, daytime soap opera. Like, it's too many episodes. Let's wrap it up. And where's Love and Marriage DC? Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Before we get into it, please hit that thumbs up button, y'all. Help us push this video through the algorithm because it's late. This is a growing channel, so I thank you for hitting that subscribe channel. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, y'all. It definitely helps the channel to grow. I can continue to put out great content, okay? Also, comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode. And share the video where you like to share your videos. This episode, you know, it didn't give as much as I thought it was going to give, to be honest. But it was good. It was cool. I'm waiting to see when they're taking this little trip they're supposed to be taking. But anywho, let's get into this review. Y'all know I'm playing catch up because I was gone for the weekend. So we're going to go and get this done. All right, so let's see. This episode starts off with, we didn't have a cliffhanger, okay? It was no to be continued from last week. So this week started off with Chris Fletcher and Nell Fletcher. They decided to ditch work for the day and go have a date night. Now, mind you, when they was in the club, right? And did y'all see how when they got out the club, production panned over the building and it was in the daytime? So I was like, did they really just get dressed up and shoot this scene in the club in the daytime? All right, whatever. Let's go with it. So they're dancing. Nell said her and Chris's love language is dancing. He said she's our favorite she is his favorite dance partner. She was like, I'm your only dance partner, okay? So Nell was dancing in her little club, glittery dress, honey. They was having a good time doing their 1-2 step, drinking. And so, you know, she asked him how, they sat down, she asked him how work's been. He said, you know, he sold a few houses today, the usual. And so he said also trying to get Martell out the house. I'm also sick of evicting Martell. Either call the cops or get them evicted or don't. I don't know. I'm not trying to, you know, ruin Martell's life or nothing, but he doing it to himself. I don't know what to tell you. So anywho, so, you know, Nell's like, oh, funny you bring up Martell because, you know, he stopped by the house, bring over some of his wine for the family dinner, and he brought up the whole name-changing party that Melody is having, and I told him I was going to the event, and he didn't like that. Now, somebody refresh my memory, but I thought last week that Miss Nell brought up the name-changing party to Martell, not Martell brought it up to her. I'm pretty sure she brought it up first. I could be wrong though. Anyway, so basically Miss Nell was telling Chris how Martell was getting a little loud with her, and you know he really pissed her off, and he was trying to claim that Mel had infidelity and all this stuff, and Chris was like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to him, huh? Am I gonna have to talk to him? He was getting loud with you. Oh, I talked to him. I was like, oh, here we go now. Somebody else was talking wrong to somebody's wife. Here we go. We're going to keep doing this. Anyway, Nell said, you know, it's like Martell asked for forgiveness, but then as soon as you give him forgiveness, he turn around and want to, like, point the finger at somebody else. And that's exactly what he does. Instead of taking accountability for his own actions, Ms. Nell says she don't know nothing about male cheating, okay? Then, you know, they're talking about the whole name changing ceremony of it all, and they're wondering, is it going to be like a wedding? Because it's giving very much wedding, and that's exactly what it gave, okay? And we're going to get to that scene. So, anywho, they said that, you know, she's changing her name back to Rodgers, and so, Miss Nell was like, Rodger That. And she's like, we're going to have to put that on a t-shirt. That's going to really sell. Miss Nell stayed breaking that fourth wall. She'll do nothing else. Y'all better go on and put the Fletchers on the show. Let them be in opening credits next season because they basically are on the show. And I ain't mad at it. They're a good addition. Then let's see, we get down to Tiffany and Stormi. Now, Tiffany and Stormi are meeting up at the store because Tiffany wants to get some thank you gifts for everyone who attended the Come See Baby Ace event, the baby shower, Lewis's mom. She want to, repay everybody back. They're at this really nice store. I don't remember the name of the store, but it looked like it was local to Huntsville. Sorry, y'all, something's in my eye. Anywho, Tiffany said, by the time she got to the baby shower, all the commotion had happened. So Stormi basically broke it down like, girl, this is, the Scots was ignoring Keke, and Keke got into it, and that's what it was. Okay, so then Tiffany said it's funny how Keke is relevant, but really is irrelevant. Something like that, she said. It was funny to me, okay? And so Stormi was like, see, dang, you be taking them digs, and I feel like, you and Keke need to stop taking digs at each other. Like, I really don't think it's good. I think you guys need to move forward. Like, I think you guys really like each other, like, all this stuff. And so Tiffany's like, girl, what? And so Stormi was like, yeah, even when you did that Carlos King interview, you said that, you were better than her, and basically, like, she wasn't good enough for the whole group. And so Tiffany's like, girl, what did I say? And so Tiffany was like, I don't understand if Stormi is, like, really coming here being mutual, or is she coming here bringing Team Keke, and they both trying to get the mess started and come against me. I don't really know. And I'm like, Tiffany, I don't really know either, girl, to be honest with you. I didn't understand Stormi's agenda until she got to the end of the conversation. Because I was like, why are we capping for Keke? First of all, why are we capping for Keke this hard? So anywho, Stormi said, Tiffany was like, I don't know why you would be surprised. She's shocked about why Stormi would be surprised at the stuff she said in the interview. Tiffany was like, well, I didn't say, like, we were better than her. Tiffany's just like, every time I've hung out with Keke, she been cutting up these streets. She pouring water on people. She disrespected her cousin. The only, pleasant time I had with her really was one time at Mel's house at the table. But that's it. Other than that, she running around town and doing all this stuff. And she said, I don't associate with people like that. Like, she don't fool with people like Keke. And she got the right to, okay? I know we all don't like Tiffany. I'm not a Tiffany fan. I used to drag Tiffany up and down Twitter, okay, real hard, about her age and her having that baby. And no shade, I'm glad she had the baby and the baby's happy and healthy. It's no shade. But, I'm Tiffany right, okay? What did Tiffany say that was wrong? So, anyway, Stormi's like, yeah, I just didn't like that, the stuff you were saying. Tiffany was like, well, I didn't say I was better than her. When did I say that? And so, they played the clips of the interview. She didn't say those words, but she kind of did imply it. And so Stormi's like, it was implied. She's like, well, I'm not about to go back and forth with you verbatim, but, you said this and that, and I didn't like that. Like, you really think that? You really think you're better than Keke? And so Tiffany's like, no, I don't think I'm better than Keke. And so Stormi was like, yeah, I really didn't like what you said. That really upset me. I didn't like that for you. That really hurt me. And I was like, Stormi, for real? Stormi, for real? You was hurt by what Tiffany said about Keke in the interview? Was you really, Stormi? For real, girl? Tell the truth, girl. No, Stormi, please stop capping for Keke. Why are we capping this hard for Keke? I'm not understanding. If I'm missing something, let me know in the comments what I'm missing. Because why is Stormi capping this hard for Keke? I don't get it. Maybe I'm gonna just like reach out on a real hard reach stretch, maybe because of Stormi, what she went through with her friend. Maybe that's why she has like a soft spot in her heart for Keke. I don't know, maybe. I can give her that. So my clothes are done in the dryer, y'all. Anywho, so they going back and forth about this. And so Tiffany's like, okay, well, have you talked to Keke? Like, do you know if she's even receptive to having a conversation with me? Because, Stormi is saying, like, I think y'all need to sit down. Like, y'all keep taking digs. She said, I feel like you've been taking a harsher dig, especially with the interview, and you said this and that. So I feel like y'all need to, stop the beef and all that. So that's why Tiffany's like, well, girl, like, you've talked to Keke? And she's like, yeah, Keke's really remorseful. Like, she's not happy with what she did. She feels bad that she caused a scene in Kimmy's house. She's really wishes she didn't do what she did. And so she's like, okay, well, is Keke receptive to even talking to me? And so Stormi's like, yeah, she is. And so Tiffany is like, well, how do I know, like, you just not trying to, is this Stormi trying to get some mess popping? And so Stormi's like, girl, don't do that. And she's like, let's sit down because you really making me mad. And why would you say that? And to me, it was giving a bit of Stormi getting some mess started. So that's why I said, I see. I know I'm not a Tiffany fan, but I don't understand where this Stormi, let me get Keke and Tiffany back together energy is coming from. All I'm saying. So anywho, they sit down, and so Stormi thing is like, look, you keep poking the bear and saying all this stuff when, when someone that has the kind of behavior and attitude as Keke, you gonna keep poking the bear and the bear's gonna poke back. And so then Tiffany got it. She's like, okay, what I'm receiving you're saying is that, because Tiffany feels like she's just taking these little jabs. She's like, I'm taking these little jabs. I didn't know that, like, it's really just poking the bear, and the bear is a bear. And so when we got to that part of the conversation, I do understand what Stormi's point was. It's kind of like, why are you tussling with crazy? It's like you getting into it with a crazy person that we all know is crazy. And then if you getting on their level, then you looking just as crazy as him. It's kind of like that mentality, okay? So I get what Stormi was saying. I don't fully understand all the capping for Keke, but okay, girl. So Stormi agrees, to let, Tiffany agrees to meet up with Keke and let Stormi mediate it. Stormi's like, oh, I'm so excited. She's like, yeah, you a little too excited about this. And Stormi, you were. Like, you ain't over there dying for Keke and Tiffany to be friends like that. Oh, also, before I get off that scene, Stormi did bring up, like, okay, Tiffany, did you say something about Keke moving to a school district? Because I talked to Keke. She said you was talking about her moving to that school district because they're saying want to play football and all that. Tiffany's like, what? Like, I've never talked to anybody about Keke moving to another school district. She denied that she said it. Now, Mel is the one that told Keke that, right? And then Keke repeated it the story. So I don't know who lying, if it's Tiffany or if it's Mel. So I hope we get into that in the reunion, because Mel the one carrying the bones this season. She being Sheree Jr. So then Stormi, all these damn names. Stormi brought up, and Keke also said you talking mess about my hair care products. You didn't really like products like that. Tiffany was like, I just used up this product, that product, used it in one of the boys' hair. Like, girl, what? Tiffany didn't understand in her confessional why Keke is trying to drive a wedge between her and Stormi. She's like, me and Stormi are in a good place. I don't understand it. Now, Keke did say that about the hair products. We saw that last week, I believe. I don't know. Why would Keke make that up, though? I don't know. But I don't know who to believe. Anywho, I don't even care. Moving on, we're getting down to this name-changing ceremony. Now, I will give all the positives first. It looked very beautiful. Melody looked gorgeous. I loved her goddess look. I love a good goddess look, okay? She had the big Rodger sign in front of the house. Miss Nell was struggling to get up the cobblestone driveway. She had her hair done, makeup done, everything did. Like, Melody, you did the damn thing with that event. Now, it was definitely a bit much. It was a bit much for a name-changing ceremony. It was giving very much wedding, like I said. But you know what? If she got the coin, that's what she want to do. I ain't mad at it. Okay, so, her Miss Van came. She gave her little pep talk before she walked down the aisle. They did a whole thing where she reclaimed her name. She read the letter they gave her. Miss Van said a little speech. Where was the Scotts? Where was Kimmy and Maurice? I didn't expect Letitia to be there, or Marcel, but where was Kimmy and Maurice? Where was Tiffany? Where was Stormi? Like, we didn't see anybody else really in the audience besides the Fletchers, right? And maybe they were I think they would have showed the other people they were there. So that was kind of weird to me. But anywho, it was mostly all the Mel's family, right? So then Miss Nell comes to pull Mel aside. She said, I need to have a talk with you. The music was like, Melody in her confession was like, I don't know what Miss Nell got to talk to me about right now. This is, we having a good time. What is so important that she got to talk to me right now? So Ms. Nell said, how do you feel? And, Melody's just saying how relieved she is and all that. So then Ms. Nell was like, girl, I talked to your ex-husband. And so Melody in her confession is like, girl, like, why Ms. Nell got to be bringing up Martell right now? This is a Martell-free zone. You see anybody talking about Martell, like, Ms. Nell, you need to get with the program. And I'm feeling the same way. But, production whispered in Ms. Nell's ear and said, go on and ask Mel about Martell on this day because that's what's going to get Mel activated. Okay, so let's get into it. So Ms. Nell was like, I went over, Martell came over to the house because, we were having a family dinner. And, he brought over 2 of his bottles of his Inez wine. Yes, okay. And, Chris wasn't there. He was down to the real estate office. And so Martell brought up the whole name changing ceremony thing that you're having. Again, I thought Ms. Nell brought it up first, but okay, we'll go with Ms. Nell's version of the story. And so Melody's like, yes, okay, yes, he did. And so she was like, yeah, and he was like, what do you think about that? And so Ms. Nell's like, I think it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to the event. And so Martell, she talked about how Martell got mad and didn't want her to go, and he felt like that was a slap in the face, and he feels like, he has a problem with you changing his name because that's the name he gave you, and you all got children together. And so Mel was like, oh, so Martell has a problem with me changing my name? I pity him. I was cracking up at that part, y'all. So then Miss Nell's basically replaying the conversation she had with Martell. So Melody was like, so you mean to tell me that he has a problem with me changing my name back to the name that I had when I first met him? And so Ms. Nell was saying how Martell was going off and he didn't like that. And so Melody was like, okay, typical Martell, typical narcissist. Like, why is he making this moment about him? She said she is not shocked by Martell's behavior and all that. And so Mel was like, let me be clear. Did I not have that name when I first met Martell? Is that right? And Ms. Nell was like, yeah. She's like, okay, so then it should not matter what, I had that name first before I even met him. And so then Ms. Nell was saying how Martell was saying, Mel was wrong. And she brought up, Martell talking about her infidelity. And she said, I'm not her mom. The only thing she did wrong, in my opinion, was not speaking to you. But other than that, she ain't did nothing wrong. And then Martell brought up the infidelity and all that. And so Melody was like, infidelity, what? And so Mel was like, you know what? At the end of the day, Martell is not here. No, this is how she really said it. Let me do my Mel voice right. First of all, Martell is not here. We are not in the spirit of division, pitting women up against each other. We are here to celebrate and have a good time. You are here with me to have a good time. We are not here to worry about Martell. Now, come on, let's get something to eat. I said, I know that's right, Mel, okay? And she said something about it. The confessional gave her 2 snaps at the end. And I said, I know that's right, Mel. We ain't here checking for Martell Holtz, okay? Anywho, he wishing he was a Rodger right now. That's what he wishing. So he can be doing good in life and thriving like Mel. Okay, and I ain't even a millimeter, but when you're right, you're right. So anywho, then, they did, some people did toast. Dr. Sharita was her name, I think. Said something about Mel having a legacy because, celebrating, that she broke up from Martell. However, she has these children. That will be her legacy and all that good stuff. And I think that was pretty much all that scene gave y'all. Then we get to Stormi meeting with her. I think he's the CMO or EMO and the COO of Canvas Beauty. I think his name is Kyle, and he stays there at the compound when he's in town. And so they were just talking about everything Stormi's business went through and how, it's growing, and she wants to have a party to celebrate 5 years of Canvas Beauty. I didn't know it had only been 5 years, so this is a pretty new business for her. I thought she had it longer than that for some reason, but anywho, because remember when Mel did that little video shoot for her first single at the house, so that's why I thought like Stormi had been established like that. But kudos to her for growing her business to that level in 5 years. Like, that's pretty cool. So anywho, they're talking about, Kyle's like, yeah, this wasn't like this when, when I first met you. Like, it was a rough time, girl. You was struggling. We was about to be down and out, and I didn't want you to give up hope, girl. And so then, Stormi started crying. He's like, don't cry. I didn't want you to cry. But it definitely was different then. Stormi said, the business grew just so fast. It got out of control. Then she had her son, and she had to be on bed rest, and so many things were happening. She couldn't deal with it. Next thing you know, her signature was being forged. That's like, who was signing Stormi's name? What's the tea? And so they were talking about all that and how, she was losing so much money. And Kyle said she literally almost lost everything, like the house and everything. And Stormi is like, it was really hard time. She wanted to give up. When Kyle came in, he really pushed her. She didn't want to do certain things. She felt like they didn't have the money, but he really pushed her. Side note, did y'all see that big old portrait they have of Courtney's big old head in the background? I said, why is this portrait of Courtney right here? Anywho, so they were just talking about how they really went through a rough time. And so he said, I know you want to help your family out, but, we got to grow this business. We got to do things right. We got to take it brick by brick, step by step. And as the managers and owners of this company, like, we have a duty and integrity to uphold this company and protect this company and do things right. I don't know what the tea is. They didn't tell us exactly what happened. But Stormi, is grateful that Kyle came in. I'm very interested to know what all was going on, who was forging the signatures. When he said, I know you want to help your family, that said a lot. So I'm very intrigued by that storyline. I would definitely like to hear more about that because they just kind of gave us tidbits, but not the details. So yeah, he said, he sees them doing 10 million a month very soon, but they're going to make steps. So kudos to them. And good for Stormi for not giving up. She said her son was the thing that motivated her to keep going because she was ready to give up. Okay. I was like, dang, that was crazy. Now, that's an inspirational story. We could have heard that story down to the Black Business Expo. That's what she was trying to say at the comeback group town hall meeting. But anywho, moving on along. Final scene we get to is dinner at the Fletcher's house. So the Fletchers are having a family dinner. This is the last scene of the episode, thank God. So the Fletchers said they're a blended family, but Miss Dale doesn't like to say that, because both their kids were young when they first met. So Chris came in with his daughter, Alexis, spell it with an E. Elexis, never seen that spelling before. And then Nell came in with her son. I want to say his name was Landon or something like that. I don't know. He was handsome though. Now they son together. And I was thinking the sons was gonna look like the daddy, and I was very disappointed. Okay, but it's okay. So anywho, so they also had 2 more kids together, and then they have their niece. I forgot the dang niece's name, but Keke. The niece's name is Keke, and Miss Nell says she pretty much raised Keke, and Keke's mom's like a sister to her or something like that. Anywho, Miss Nell feels like the kids like Chris more because they be telling her more and, confiding in him more because he don't jump to conclusions. And Miss Nell feels like as a mom, that's what she got to do, Okay. So then the kids all came over. They have a daughter named Kayla and a son named Chris that they had together, if I didn't say that. So the kids all come over for family dinner. Miss Nell's like, they better be on time. Chris is like, well, they're going to be on time. You made all that food. And so Miss Nell already jamming Keke up in the kitchen like, you got a job since I fired you, because Miss Nell fired Keke for the daycare business. And Keke's like, yes, I have gotten another job. She said, you don't keep this job? Keke was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this job. She's like, well, what happened with the other job? So I guess Keke got another job after Miss Nell let her go, but then that job didn't work out, but she got another job. And so she said the previous job didn't work out because she was challenged when it came to childcare, but now her childcare situation is better. And I was like, well, can Miss Nell watch her kids down to the daycare? She owned a daycare. I'm so confused. So anywho, they all sit down at the family table. Now, mind you, Miss Nell running around the kitchen pissed, okay? Hair looked like she done sweated in that kitchen all day long because that hair was looking a mess. Anywho, she was like, yeah, let's just sit down and air everything out. Because Keke was like, we don't tell you nothing because Keke was like, I didn't want to come to you till I have all my ducks in a row because you be overreacting. So we don't tell you stuff. And so Miss Nell was like, let's just sit down at the table. I didn't cook this food. We're going to air it all out. Y'all going to tell me what's going on. I was like, oh, child. you could tell she the exhausted mom in the family, and that's no shade. But everybody got one of them aunties or them mamas that be exhausting the whole family, and that is Miss Nell. Okay, so they sat down, and Keke and Miss Nell kind of going back and forth because Miss Nell was saying like, "Oh, Keke, you should have told me about your job. I'm the main one helping you out and all this stuff." And Keke was like saying like, "We don't like to tell you stuff because you be going from 0 to 100 real quick." And so Miss Nell was like, y'all, the way I'm there from y'all need to be there for each other. Like, the reason why I be acting like that because I gotta do everything for everybody. And I was like, girl, stop doing it then. If it's exhausting you that much, stop doing it then, Miss Nell. So then she told Chris, little Chris, like, yeah, you used to call me every other day, but you don't be calling me. And they was like, yeah, because you got his dogs. And so he's like, he want his dogs back. And so we learned at the confessional that Fletcher said that little Chris got arrested, went to jail, so they had to go get his dogs, take him to the vet. It was $3,800 vet bill. Then, they had to bail him out of jail. That's another $6,000. So he owes them money, right? Now, his dog would have went to up the pound, another owner or something, because I'm not finna get your dog for you after you went to jail and pay all this money for your dog's medicine. Not gonna do it, but they nicer than me apparently. So anywho, he was like, I want the dog back. She's like, you need to pay me back all the money you owe me. And he was like, well, why would I pay you back if you're not gonna give me the dogs? And he was like, them dogs cost $3,500. And she was like, what? Like, you gonna pay me, but the money ain't worth the dogs. She's like, that is not an even exchange. She's like, I didn't pay $3,800 for your medicine and $6,000 to get you out of jail. Now son needs to pay back the parents. Like, I don't understand this entitled mentality. I don't care nothing about your dog. So they are holding his dogs hostage until they get their money back. So then, I guess Alexis tried to jump in and say something, and then Miss Nell tell her to be quiet or shut up or something like that. And then that was pretty much where the episode left off, and it was to be continued. We're going to see the family get into it. Looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. So we're going to see next week's episode. I'm still trying to figure out when this reunion is. But anyway, y'all. Also, if you're a fan of Married at First Sight, Married at First Sight. Lord, I done messed up that title, y'all. We're going to get back into them on Wednesday, y'all. So join me Wednesday night. Maybe some shorts before then, though. So anyway, just pay attention to the channel, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.